Yo, what's good? My name is Reginald, aka the R-Star, aka Mr. Straight Fire, and this is Unabashedly Reggie's lyrical breakdown, reaction, analysis of Bad Meets Evil, Above the Law.
Get out of here! Terrible but not rippable, invincible or hung invisible. Fucking mistletoe over the world. Bitch, I'll never taste the canvas, could never be no tan. What's the pussy, never mushy, so you can't.
Baby, I'm lawless. You couldn't burn me if you threw acid on me. I'm at your homie, I'm at your home. Fuck of it. Partner, you not hard. I body your hot bars. Beef is left you pray, right? Like Allah who hot bar. Let's go.
Okay, before we start, remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you're on Facebook, go there and like my page. And finally, after you've watched this video, if you enjoy the content and you want to show your support, please go to patreon.com/unabashedlyreggie. It's only going to cost you $1. And one of the perks is that I sometimes put the longer version of the video, when it's a longer version, like about a couple minutes longer. But what I always do is that I put the full highlighted rhyme sheet on there. Above the Law, produced by Mr. Porter, aka Denom from D12, is the fourth song on the Bad Meets Evil Hell the Sequel EP, which was released on June 13th, 2011. If you didn't know, Bad Meets Evil is the duo of Royce the 5'9", who is bad, and Eminem, whose Slim Shady alter ego plays evil. They formed in 1999 with the help of Proof, R.I.P., who introduced them to each other. They had a falling out at some point, but after Proof's death, they reunited after Royce and Slaughterhouse signed to Shady Records in 2011. Above the Law is my favorite song on this album, and I would also say it's one of my favorite beats produced by Mr. Porter. The aggressiveness with those heavy drums and those piercing staccato strings makes for a track destined to be killed by dope MCs, and they did. And if you've watched my channel, you know that Eminem is my guy, it's my favorite rapper, but I have to say, I like Royce's verse better. I think he had a better flow and better wordplays, but rhyming schemes wise, I give it to M. With that said, let's break down the song. The theme of the song, like a lot of BME songs, is about being a rebel and breaking the rules. So they talk about committing crimes and doing things that are immoral because they are above the law. Let's look at Eminem's verse. Terrible but not rippable, invincible, I hung invisible. Fucking mistletoe all over the world, I stuck my ass up under it. Now pucker up them lips and kiss it, ho. Here we go, bad and evil, so you know how this'll go. Okay, the first wordplay is done through the use of homophones. Terrible and terrible, like tearing something in half. So when it comes to his raps, mostly his shady/evil persona, it's terrible but not rippable, which is a synonym for terrible, T-E-A-R. And that could mean that he can't be hurt by what people are saying about him, or when it comes to MCs, no one can mess with the dude. For the mistletoe part, this comes from the Christmas tradition where if two people find themselves below mistletoe, they have to kiss. So Eminem says that he has put mistletoes all over the world and his ass under it so the whole world can kiss his ass. Just like he says in the hook of If I Had, where he would wish for an ass big enough for the whole world to kiss. And there are countless lyrics where Eminem in his career has said something like that. I mean, after all, he is the sinister Mr. Kiss My Ass. Now let me know in the comments below if you got that reference. The competition's miserable, we stomp them bitches, this is no joke. Going overboard like someone's threw us off the boat. Look at those internal rhymes. Competitions, stomp bitches, and miserable, this no. Plus, those last two go with mistletoe, and this'll go from the previous lines. Here we have a simple simile that fits the theme of the song. Jumping off a boat can be called going overboard. Therefore, he's saying that lyrically Bad and Evil says fucked up shit, go overboard like being thrown off a boat. Choke, cough from all the smoke. I'm trying to stay on fire, so you know if I hit the fucking water sprinkler, I don't love the hose. Well, all the smoke is due to Eminem being on fire. He's trying to stay hot, to stay relevant. After that, he plays with the homophones with the word hose. First, the literal meaning is hose, as in a garden hose, which is what a water sprinkler will be attached to. Second, the hidden one is the plural of hoe, a whore, H-O-E-S. If you put it all together, he tries to stay on fire, so he stays away from water sprinklers, so he hates garden hose. But if you know Eminem, he's been labeled as a misogynist and a woman hater, and just to piss people off, he says that line, continuing the rebel theme of the song. Someone let the cat out the bag now, it's time to stuff its face back in that bitch, smother that little motherfucker till it suffocates. Who? Letting the cat out of the bag is an expression that means to let a secret out. But M turns this expression literally by saying he'll put that cat back in the bag and let it die. Now I don't know what's Eminem's problem with cats. I mean, I'm a dog guy, but it's not the first time he rapped about doing harmful things to a cat. Remember in I'm Back when he said,
Till I cut a kitten's head off and stuck it in his kid's mailbox.
Seriously, WTF. Let's move on. You had long enough of a wait. Why are they trying to be so secretive? Bad and evil is reunited hate. Not a perfect rhyme, but notice the subtle one. Secretive and evil is. How long was the wait? Well, for an official release from the duo, it was a 12-year wait, as the last song they released before this album was Scary Movie in 1999. But if you include the original version of Renegade, recorded in around 2011, it's about a decade of a wait. Came back to annihilate, the game is in dire strait as I await. If we go back a couple lines, there's a nice succession of three-syllable rhymes there. Why are they reunited? Hey, annihilate, dire strait, I await. Really dope. As I await, word on Satan as I drop and fall to my knees before this Ouija board and I pray. Now I lay me down to sleep. I do this shit in my sleep. I'm sleeping now. Imagine if I awake. I don't know if it's intentional, but you have word on Satan, and then he talks about Ouija board, which is a game to summon spirits that supposedly spell words with the letters on the board itself. And it's also not the first time he references Ouija board. He also did in American Psycho on Devil's Night. Once again, continuing with saying crazy things, he proclaims himself a Satan worshiper. And that wouldn't be the first time. Like he told us before, there's several different levels of devil worshiping. Next lines. I'm champ, bitch. I'll never taste the canvas. Tasting the canvas is an expression meaning to get knocked down in a combat sport. Probably boxing in this case, since Eminem is a huge boxing fan. So is Royce, and as you will see later in his verse, he makes a couple boxing references. The end lines of this verse are probably his best delivery in this whole song. The way he uses the ush sound and then the ish sound makes for a great flow. Let's check it out. Could never be no damn whisser pussy, never mushy, so you can't squish, nowhere near a tush. In fact, if I jump out a bush in a sneak attack's the only way I say I ambush. A tush is a synonym for butt, so since he's no pussy, it's not even close to a butt. Funny way to say that. Another use of homophones here with ambush and ambush. The first one is a reference to the 43rd President of the United States, George W. Bush. And to ambush means to attack someone by surprise from a hidden place. If you put it all together, the only way he will say the words, I ambush, is if he does a sneak attack on someone, because otherwise he would never say he is George W. Bush. And we all know how he felt about Bush's presidency. Just listen to Mosh. And actually, this is a triple entendre, because he said he was no damn pussy, and a bush can be slang for vagina. Look at a bush. Does it got hair? So since he's no pussy, he would never say he's Bush. Next lines. Outlandish, these words are weapon that I brandish. Stand off, fish to hoes, keep your hands off this. Nice little reference to his D12 song, Words of Weapon. Can't top it, so what the fuck would I sugarcoat it for? Law, fuck protocol, I'd holler at this hoe, but now my throat is sore. Another cool wordplay here is with sugarcoat and top it. To sugarcoat means to say something in a way to make it seem more acceptable, like being politically correct, but it also means to top something with sugar, like a dessert. And he said that MCs can't top it, his raps, so he doesn't need to sugarcoat it. So that was the wordplay. Of course, Eminem has never been politically correct. That's why he says fuck protocol, like this guy. And finally, he ends it with another attack at women, but at least he does it with a play on word that's fitting to his delivery. To holler at a girl is to try to flirt with her, but the actual definition of holler is to yell, and in that song he had that shouting flow from that recovery era. So after all that shouting, his throat is sore, and for that reason he can't holler at the hoe. Hey, before we take a look at Royce's verse, just a quick reminder that if you enjoyed this video, give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And again, if you can, go to patreon.com/unabashedlyreggie. Thanks in advance. Like I said in the intro, I think Royce got the best verse of this song. It's not necessarily the complexity of the rhymes, but I love Royce's wordplays more and his delivery too. Let's break that verse down. Baby, I'm lawless. You couldn't burn me if you threw acid on me. I'm at you, homie. I'm at your home ready to spray while you napping, homie. Have everything on and around your mattress looking like the word in front of a matrimony. Man, I love that type of lines where rappers use similes to paint a picture. Here Royce is painting the picture of how he'll leave your house. Spray here means to riddle with bullets. Now, what's the word in front of a matrimony? Typically, we say holy matrimony. Holy, H-O-L-Y. And that hides a homophone of holy, H-O-L-E-Y, which means to have holes. So he'll leave your house full of holes after he sprays it. I think that line is amazing because he's doing a wordplay with a word he doesn't even say. Quite a way to open a verse. And of course here, he opens with I'm lawless, which goes with the title and the theme of the song of being above the law. You high, thug, yeah, go ahead, jump, no matter how high you get, you gon' come up short like Spud Webb. Anthony Jerome Spud Webb is a retired American basketball player who is the third shortest player in the NBA history. So that's why Royce uses him as a reference when talking about something that is short. But actually, Spud Webb is best known for being the shortest player to win a dunk contest. That's why he says no matter how high you jump, just like Spud in the contest, you're still going to come up short, although Spud did win. But the point Royce is making is that no matter how hard they try to show they're gangster, they're still too small for him. Plus, Royce uses the word high twice, once to indicate that the dude he's talking about must be high on drug to think he can reach the same height/success as Royce. My DUIs gets waved like saying bye, still riding with no L's like James Todd, it can change, thank God for my safe thinking. Last time I was safe thinking, me and my was doing the bank job. If you're not aware, Royce is a recovering alcoholic, and this coming September 2018, he'll celebrate 6 years of sobriety. Congrats to that. So when this was released in 2011, he was still drinking. In that DUI line, there are two wordplays. First, he's saying that his DUIs, that's when you get arrested for driving drunk or high, go away or wave like saying bye. And of course, when you say bye, you wave your hand. Although, the sad reality is that Royce was sentenced to a year in prison in 2006 for a DUI. But he had multiple DUIs in his life, so I guess some of them were actually waived. And I think he's bragging about this to go with the theme of the song, which is being above the law. And the second word playing that line follows the DUI line when he says riding with no L's. L's refers to a license, a driving license, so he's bragging that even if he gets caught with a DUI and loses his license, he'll continue to drive. But the wordplay here is with James Todd. That's the real name of OG legend rapper LL Cool J. And the name James Todd, of course, doesn't have any L's unlike his nickname. That's the wordplay he did, and that's a dope one out of many in this verse. Oh, and in that other line, he plays with the different definitions of the word safe, and these are called homographs. First, safe thinking as in being careful, and second, as the safe of a bank. Moving on. I stay violent, y'all go the peace route. You got a mouth like Kanye, I'll knock your whole bottom row of teeth out. No, this isn't actually a Kanye diss, which he clarifies in the next line. He's doing a double entendre by using Kanye's mouth. First, if you got a mouth like Kanye, meaning that you say a lot of wrong things, he'll punch you in the mouth. And the other meaning is actually referencing Kanye West's mouth. As documented in the classic Kanye song Through the Wire, Kanye was involved in a car accident that almost took his life. He spent weeks in the hospital and required a facial reconstructive surgery, which included his jaw. That's why Roy specifically says bottom row of teeth. In the next line, look at this nice consonants with the S sound. No disrespect to Mr. West shit, I'm just nice with mine, and this just rap, I'm just like Ricky Hatton, I just like the line. Another great line here. The simile where he compares himself to Ricky Hatton is pretty mean, but also pretty funny when you understand it. Ricky Hatton is a retired English boxer whose career started to spiral down as he was struggling, unfortunately, with alcohol and drug abuse. He was caught allegedly on camera snorting what appeared to be cocaine. Knowing that, it's easier to understand the simile. Royce is saying that he wasn't trying to diss Kanye, he just said the previous bar because, like Ricky Hatton, he just liked the line. But in Ricky's case, it was a line of cocaine. Such a cold line, but a nice one too. These weak rappers want to set us up, they never tough. They ask me for a hook, I tell them left or right, head or gut. After making a reference to Ricky Hatton here, he continues with the boxing theme. Another use of homographs. Hook has two meanings in this case. Hook as in the chorus of a song, and hook as in the type of punch. If you put it all together, he's saying that when a weak rapper is asking for a hook or chorus, he tells them if they want a right or left punch to the head or the gut. So he's saying that he doesn't want to work with whack rappers, he would rather destroy them. Moreover, that head or gut is a reference to the 1991 movie The Last Boy Scout, starring Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans. In that movie, Bruce Willis' character goes around asking people who did something bad if they want a punch in the head or the gut, then follows with that punch where they ask. Let's continue. What you're messing with is that'll leave you foobar, fucked up beyond all recognition. Y'all rock star, I'm the opposite. I could just throw a rock and hit a star for the fuck of it. Listening back to that song, you'll notice, just like I did, he twisted the pronunciation of fuck to fit the pattern, so you got opposite, ockages, and fuck of it. Now in those lines, he's again belittling rappers by implying that there aren't true MCs like him, but just rock stars, meaning they're just famous. Then what he says next could be interpreted in two ways. On one hand, he's making an exaggeration by saying that he can throw a rock so far that it can hit a star in the sky, but that could also be a way of saying that for him, sky isn't the limit, he can reach heights even higher. And the other possible meaning is saying that if he wants to, he'll actually throw a rock at a star if a famous person just for fun. And that would go with being lawless above the law and not caring about rules. Those next two lines, I love the rhythm created by the placement of the rhymes and the sounds they create. This shows how much a rhyming pattern can add to a flow. Partner, you're not hard, I body your hot bars. Beef has left you pray, right? Like holla who hot bar. Not only does this line sound cool, but the play on word here is great. In the religion of Islam, Allahu Akbar, which means Allah, God, is greatest, is a phrase often said by Muslims in their prayers. Royce is letting rappers know that if they get into a rap beef with him, they'll be praying and asking for God to help them. Also, for Muslims to eat meat, the meat has to be halal. Halal meat is when the animal has been slaughtered in a particular way while an Islamic prayer is uttered. So that line was also a reference to the halal meat. Let's go. When I leave y'all shot, you ain't gonna be on your metro in a bad area. That call dropped. Once again, he's using a word that has more than one meaning. This time, it's the word metro. First, I think it's short for metrosexual, which is a straight dude who pays a lot of attention to his appearance by grooming, beauty treatments, and fashionable clothes. And this is a trend that has carried over in hip-hop with some rappers wearing skirts, Gucci purses, and fancy clothing. So Royce is saying that when he'll shoot you, like he said in the opening lines, it will be such a horrible scene and disgusting scene that you will no longer be looking all pretty and fancy. For the second meaning, I would say it is a reference to the cell phone provider Metro PCS, which is considered a cheap service with bad wireless, at least at the time. That's why due to the bad coverage in a bad area, when you would try to call for help, the call would just drop. And that concludes this aggressive and amazing verse by Royce the 5'9". That's it, folks. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe to my channel, and if you can, go to patreon.com/unabashedlyreggie. And just something I'm gonna let you know, my next video will be a classic verse from the 90s. It's something that I'll try to do more often, go back in time and look at classic verses. And if you have classic verses that you think I should break down, let me know in the comments below. But until then, this has been Unabashedly Reggie. Thanks, it's been real.